So yeah.
And you've got a very devoted fan base I know on your Facebook. I haven't really checked much on the Twitter lately, but the Facebook community for your artwork is really very, very devoted. And I know that I found out about your art from a friend. So, I mean, it all kind of rolls downhill with tell a friend who tells a friend. And now I'm like, I've got a nerd crush on James's artwork. His stuff is awesome.
That was that man, wasn't it? Yeah. That big man. No, it's absolutely lovely, yeah. And the people are really, really kind. And, yeah, I can't say enough good things about them.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm getting my notes together. Let's see. We've got one from Paul in England. He asks you two questions. He goes, James, where do you get your ideas from?
Oh wow! This is it's every art walk and book signing. It's the same question. Bless them. I don't know, just like pop culture and growing up and childhood and not really wanting to let go of the things that were important to me as a kid. You know, I've just got hugely fond memories of the Muppets and Star Wars, and Sesame Street, everything like that. That sort of I just held on to and got me through difficult times as a kid. And I've done art shows and whatnot where I've spoken to people and they've been really quite emotional about seeing these kind of silly sort of mashups I've done, but like they remind them of certain times in their lives when television or the movies or music was the one constant they had while sort of, you know, childhood and family was sort of exploding a little bit around them. And so that's what I really like that, and I like the reactions that certain paintings and whatnot seem to give people when they look at it, you know. I forget the question, but yeah.
Well, there is that sort of cool, like you're mashing up two nostalgic factors together into one thing, and especially right now, it seems like that seems to be in touch with at least our generation of our generation period who grew up on television, on movies and stuff like that. Sort of. I guess in my way of saying it, sort of like the latchkey kid world.
Yeah.
You know,
where you lived for Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, you did.
Sunday night movies. I don't know if anybody ever even remembers Sunday night movies. I might be the only one that's old enough to remember Sunday night.
No, we do Sunday night movies. There, like I know Disney would have like a Sunday night Disney movie of the week or something like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah. Like Star Wars and Fraggle Rock and things like that, and Muppets, and we would talk about. I mean, we talked about Fraggle Rock for like a half hour the other show. So it was like, and it still takes us back to that point where we just become like wide eyed and like 6 years old again, just like watching.
Me sitting at my computer the other day crying, listening to Rainbow Connection.
Were you really?
Yes, I was.
Oh no!
Yep. It's great that we can still feel like that. We're like we're living in such a cynical age that to be able to hear certain songs or theme tunes or like little glimpses of images from our childhood that will still make us feel like that is really nice that we still have it in us, you know.
And it seems to be very prevalent right now. The whole looking back to our childhoods, because I mean. Real life kind of sucks right now. You know, the economy's bad and jobs are bad. And then you notice that in pop culture, people are bringing up more elements of a more kind of a carefree time. Yeah. And for me, that's where your art connected with me, was seeing two or even three of my favorite things all smushed in together. And it's like, oh, wow. I'm 5 again and watching the Muppets with my mom, or now I remember this. And yeah, it definitely makes things not so bad when you can sit there and think about how much you loved the Muppets.
You're taking the suckage meter down.
Yes, definitely.
That's right. I still eat absolutely copious amounts of cereal. It's all good.
And Paul also asked, and do you want 5 Wednesdays?
This is Paul and Sorge, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, he's a monkey. He's a good friend of mine. I knew it was him somehow. Yeah. Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. I was going to say, what's the deal with 5 Wednesdays? Was that an inside joke that we're never going to get? It's just going to show up.
It
on
was
the show?
this ridiculous. I used to do this radio show back in England, and it was this ridiculous. I can't even do it anymore. It was this man that would. It was like an ethnic car salesman sort of thing that would offer you 5 Wednesdays or half a horse, and that's. It was absolutely horrific, and I'm not going to do it.
Oh.
So thank you, Paul.
Well, thanks, Paul. We appreciate the write-in.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Carrie, you got another question for him?
Mine's more of a personal type question. Just what kind of British comedies do you like? Because I saw your painting of.
I thought it was going to be "Do you pee in the shower?"
Do you pee in the shower? Because I'm wildly attracted to men that pee in the shower.
Yeah.
No, I saw your painting of Peter Serafinowicz, and I am a huge fan of his. And your painting of Simon Pegg. So I'm curious as to what type of British comedies. I don't know about growing up on or just growing up on through now. Even what kind of shows you like?
I really like Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson. I don't know if you guys have seen The Young Ones.
I grew up on The Young Ones.
Young Ones is awesome. Yes.
I know they showed it on MTV. They sort of looped that for a while, didn't they?
Yeah, and I had the VHS tapes of it when I was like 12.
Yeah, Rick and Aid did another show like 20 years after that called Bottom.
Yep.
I absolutely. It's one of my absolute favorite comedies. It's disgusting and it's cartoonishly violent, but it just that can really bring me out of my funk, that sort of thing. But the IT Crowd, I absolutely love that.
Awesome, I love that show.
Yeah. There's not an awful lot of comedies that I can continue to go back and watch. Mm-hmm. But Graham Linehan, who wrote Father Ted and the IT Crowd and Black Books.
Oh, Black Books.
I like Father Ted.
Yeah, he's a genius, and it's such good writing as well.
Are you a fan of Christopher Morris?
Brass and the Day Today and whatnot.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's the key with a lot of British and The Office, the original Office. The key with a lot of British TV shows is they sort of knew when to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem that U.S. television has for sure. They will kill. They will absolutely run a series into the ground, and
that's right.
And it's kind of, I don't know. There's something about British television where they're like, all right, well, you want more, but there's no more. They leave you wanting more, and then that's just it.
That's the thing over here with the advertising and whatnot. There's so much money pumped into those shows, and like 15, 20 writers on each one. I mean, there are some really. I really like Community. That's one of my favorite US sitcoms ever, I think. And I really like what they've done with the US version of The Office, because I know like Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant still sort of look over that. Mm-hmm. But in England, like it's so difficult to get commissioned a show out there. So they really put everything they have in, like the 2 or 3 or 4 writers will put everything they have into it, and you can really tell, And more often than not, they end it with a definite end after 2 or 3 seasons. Whereas over here, like American sitcoms tend to sort of like leave you on the edge, and then come back year after year after year and whatnot. And
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of American television because of that.
Well, yeah. The difference, but Dexter though. Do you watch Dexter at all, James?
I've just seen the first season, and I thought it was really,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I really did.
But it sort of reminds me of more of a British way to produce a show, because each season wraps itself up, and there's no cliffhanger for that season or into the next season. So
that's good to know.
Yeah, you could walk away from it at the end of 1 season or 2 seasons, and it could be it for you. Like if you decided I'm just going to watch 3 seasons, it wraps itself up after each season, where you could walk away from it and be like, yeah, everything's cool. Unlike most American television, where it's like, tune in 6 months for the exciting continuation of this terrible story arc, and it's like, you know what?
You're talking about Lost, aren't you?
I never watched Lost because I watched 1 episode of Lost after it had already started, and I just couldn't. I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna. No, I still haven't watched Lost yet. I'm watching Breaking Bad right now, and I'm completely content with it.
I've seen a few episodes of that, and it's kind of intense, but I've heard really good things. And the Malcolm in the Middle guy, he's always forever cursed to be the dad, isn't he?
But he is so
incredible
intense.
actor. Yeah.
I do want to see him in Red State, though.
Yeah,
Trey was talking about that last week, and I do want to see Red State because from the scenes that I've seen with him in it, he's just completely psycho. It's going to be interesting.
Such a dynamic actor for him being like the dad, the kind of henpecked, harried father to now, Breaking Bad and Red State. He's an incredible guy.
I think they should bring Malcolm in the Middle back for one episode and have him as the Breaking Bad character, as the father, just turning the house into a meth lab.
Angry dad smacking his wife around this time instead of letting her abuse him.
Who's in the middle now?
It'll be a good transition.
Policeman in his underpants. We've all been there. Yeah.
Well, we have another question from Twitter. And Carrie, I'm sorry. I'm used to writing or used to reading type here. From Spikester. Well, it's girly writing.
I'm a girl.
I know. Well, all the dots on the eyes are circles.
Are they circles or are they smiley faces?
No, they're circles.
No, they're circles.
Check it out. They're circles.
And I have a handwriting that's a weird mixture of cursive and print. And I put circles over everything. Everyone says my writing's really cool, and I'm like, eh.
She also sprinkles it with glitter to make it, pixie stardust.
There's glitter and perfume on every page.
Does it smell good?
It sure does. It's a yellow legal pad with
It smells like lilacs and buttercups,
sparklies and
rainbows.
Little Hello Kitty in the corner. But the
question is, what do you think happens after we die, isn't it?
It's something intense like that I had to girl it up a little bit.
I'm sure. I think this is another person who may know you. So this is from Spikester.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I can't read that.
See, now you're making it sound like my handwriting is shit.
Your handwriting's not. It's just I can't read that.
It's the glitter.
Let me wipe the glitter off the page real quick. His question is: ask him if he knows how utterly terrible Wookie the Chew was until the awesome bloke rescued it with the audiobook.
Oh yeah, that'll be Spike, who will be the narrator of the book.
That's what we figured.
You, my friends, for ruining my life. No, Spike's absolutely amazing. And it was always going to be him. It's funny enough. My friend Chuck is in a band called the Vitrolin Republic, and he'd done a review on the book on Wired.com, and then a few months later sent me a link to his band's first album, which it's a really nice folky. There's xylophones and just absolutely amazingly gorgeous, gentle music. And he said, from an artist to an artist, I'm wondering what you think of this. And I heard it, I thought, oh, man, I've got to do a Wookie the Chew audiobook, and this has to be the soundtrack to it. And I emailed him asking what he thought, and he said, that's an amazing idea. And it honestly